Biker TV is brought to you by Parts Canada and Drag Specialties. We support the sport. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. RPM Havelock, the show that has it all. Welcome to Biker TV, by bikers, for bikers. This week on Biker TV, more killer motorcycle drag racing action in Napierville. The 42nd annual Paris Vintage Motorcycle Show, and Calgary to Drumheller with Universal Cycle. But first, classic motorcycles with Artistry and Iron.
Here with Biker TV, and just brought out a few of the old Artistry and Iron collection of some of the more vintage bikes that we have. And there they are, and this is the old show. This is the original 1980 trailer that we used to go across Canada and pleased a lot of people, but we're sort of bringing every note in the open and starting to expose things again, and Biker TV was one of the first to be invited to film some of the bikes that we have. So enjoy yourself. Started off as a 76 Liberty Edition Decker that I bought at Percy Pools in Hamilton. Had it 3 days, and by the time I got to Sudbury, I had 500 miles on it. By the time I got to Thunder Bay, I had over 1,000 miles on it, and rode it out west, right out to Vancouver and back. And when I got back, I jumped on it about 2 days after I got back to Toronto and drove it out to the East Coast. The bike being 3 weeks old, it had seen both oceans. And drove it for about 3 years, and then a friend of mine came up from Buffalo to visit me, and I let him take it for a ride. It was just starting to rain, and the back tire hit the white line, and the bike went end over end about 5 times. So I had to rebuild the whole bike. I took it all apart and had to get another frame and put another frame underneath it. And when I did it up, I just went crazy on it. When it was finished, I put it in the Toronto show, which I won. Then I took it to London, won London, and back to Toronto to another show and won that. And the bike was in Daytona and won. They've seen so many things that they hadn't seen on Harleys before. I guess one was the tires, 2 was the radio caddy that we used to get manufactured up here. I had a guy named Paul make it for me, and this was the first one he made that he put the amp gauge and the oil pressure gauge and a cigarette lighter in it. Before that, they were a lot bigger. Along with that, the bottom of the box I had done in a red plexiglass and put lights in there. So at nighttime, the red lights would reflect off the gas tanks and that and give a real nice appearance when the bike was going down the road at night. Well, that's the appearance that I wanted, the flames and raised white lettering. I guess I designed it after a hot rod that I'd love to own someday. I think I've got about 35,000 miles on the bike. Fancy pegs were pretty well a drag specialty item. One of the nice little features is the rotor on the front and the back. They still didn't make drilled out rotors in them days. But I had a guy in St. Thomas that worked at General Motors and had access to a CNC machine. Instead of holes, you cut little stars in them. All the chrome was G&G Plating in London, who just started, and they were doing aluminum plating. Saddle was done by a friend of mine in Oshawa, who did a lot of saddles for horse guys. A lot of French curves and ornamental ironwork type stuff. We put the Hummer toolbox on, and we cut down the shocks. chrome the shocks and then gold-plated the covers and put covers on it, sort of like an FX would have, right? But they were exposed instead of shocks with covers on them that most deckers came with. Gave it a nicer look, I think. This was one of the first H4 headlights with the big beams and all that you could really see at night great. Instead of one headlight, it just lit up the road real good. Guys that used to like riding beside me at nighttime because them headlights really lit up the road. And for a bike that's as old as it is, the chrome is still perfect.
Stick around. When we come back, the 42nd Annual Paris Vintage Motorcycle Show.
On national TV. Tour beautiful Kent County. Come ride or visit for a great cause. The first annual Bikertv Victorian Order of Nurses Poker Run.
Advanced welding techniques, training for success. Come see our new virtual training lab at advancedwelding.ca.
Special thanks to Kent County Customs, expert service and cool customs. CPN, custom engraving and powder coating. G Bork, call for amazing deals. Bikertv Advertising. Call us for a quote. Toad's Cycle. Doing it right.
Laidlaw Carriers, Van LP.
They pay me well, they have a good fuel surcharge calculation program, and they have the type of loads I like to haul in a dry van.
Now hiring company drivers and owner-operators.
Dragon Jeans. The authentic motorcycle jeans. Bikertv rides safe in Dragon Jeans. Dragon Jeans. What's covering your butt? Closed captioning by Tie Rocks. Chain cleaning and motorcycle maintenance is a serious business.
I'm Angela with Bikertv. Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
My name's Chris Ness, and I live in Barrie, Ontario.
Okay, so what brings you here to Paris today?
This is the 41st annual rally, showcasing vintage motorcycles made all over the world. So we've got people from Kansas, Missouri, Maine. Everyone's just coming to see as many old motorcycles as they can see, or maybe to sell old parts that they have. This year's mark bike is the legendary Kawasaki Z1 900. The first 900 Kawasaki was built in 1972 and released to North America in 1973. Funnily enough, the Kawasaki company had a 750 to release prior to that, but Honda beat them to the mark with the Honda 750, single overhead cam. So then they had to go back to the drawing board, and a few years later they released the Z1, which is a 900cc, more powerful, 82 horsepower, inline 4 cylinders, double overhead cam in 1973. This particular Z1 model was produced for 3 years until 75, and then they upgraded it again and, in 1976, and it just keeps going and going and going.
And what brings you to Paris?
I sold a bike yesterday, a little Triumph chopper, and I bought some other parts for another ballroom building.
How long have you been coming to the Paris Vintage Motorcycle?
Only about 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, good show.
So tell me about your bike.
It's sort of a work in progress. It's been going on for a couple of years now, so I get it to a point, and then, then I'm not happy with it, and then you keep going, and it's a labor of love at this point.
So what kind of bike is it?
It's a 1969 Triumph TR6. It's obviously chopped. It's not near original, but it's been torn down many, many times.
Can you tell me your name and where you're from?
My name's Dart. I'm from Verner, Sturgeon Falls.
Okay.
And we rode in from Sturgeon up to Espanola. Then we went on the beautiful island of Manitoulin. Then we took the Chichiman over to Tobermory and all the way down to Wiarton. Stayed up there for a night, then we drove all the way down.
And you rode her?
Yep. I'm not a trailer queen, so
No?
even if it breaks down, I gotta fix it and ride it. It's a 1946 Indian chief that I built basically from scratch. Mostly all original, except some little specialty in the motor so that it runs better.
A little faster?
I love the Indian, always loved Indian. It's got pure class, pure elegance, and at the time they were ahead of their time, and I just like it. It's a totally different ride compared to another bike.
I'm Steve Stewart, born in St. Thomas and living in Post Lynch, and it's a 72 750 Honda, bought in 73, it was a leftover, and it's bored to 911, and it has 11-to-1 compression, Kenny Harmon cam, ARD magneto, Barnett clutch, Dave Aldana pipes, Lester mag wheels, Pirelli tires, Coney shocks, and a million things from a flea market. They got everything here on a table somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just fooling around, riding town to town. I got the breeze in my hair, living life without a care. You know you'll never leave me, baby, 'cause you got it made. Even a blind man knows the coolest place.
Stick around. When we come back, CMDRA drag racing in Napierville.
Laidlaw Carriers Tank Sudbury office is now hiring quality owner-operators. Company drivers also wanted. 4 days on, 4 days off option. Our people and our equipment set us apart.
Task performance, so you want to go fast. Performance. Fantastic.
We take people that want to get into the industry and we spend 15 weeks with them and we prepare them to work in an authorized Harley-Davidson dealership as a technician. Harley-Davidson training. The sky's the limit.
Special thanks to Doc's Motorcycle Gear, a Toronto tradition. Dyno Tunes, motorcycle tuning experts. Biketoberfest, live to ride. Dimple magnetic oil plugs. Hips Cycle, where Biker TV goes.
Alors, on est venu pour voir là, toutes les motos de la CMDRA, puis pour rouler vite aujourd'hui.
Like I always say, you can't do nothing about the weather.
Je m'attends pas à une grosse traction en début de journée, mais d'après moi, là, ils vont collaborer pour faire une bonne traction. Il va y avoir des autos, puis ça va coller. Je m'attends qu'on va sortir des bons temps aujourd'hui.
Well, we're doing real well. We're trying to win our 4th consecutive Canadian championship right now. That's a huge chore, lots of competition this year. But I'm working on a supercharged version of the same bike, 175 cubic inch with a supercharger. Our goal is to make 1,400 horsepower. Making the power is the first thing, and making the power live is the next thing. And then obviously clutch management and putting it to the track. So lots of guys have been gunning for years, experimenting with supercharged Harleys. It's a very challenging combination, and we'll see. Hopefully we can make it work, because we're very proud of what we've done with this old bike, 12, 13-year-old bike. But it's time to try something new, and I already have a second chassis, and we're very excited about the future. Hopefully we can push the envelope and open some new doors for Harleys.
Aujourd'hui, je viens avec les amis parce que c'est un rendez-vous moto qui est important au Québec cet été. Puis je viens faire des pratiques parce que malheureusement, j'ai pas de classe moi ici. J'ai pas de classe particulière pour moi. Ma classe, ça s'appelle Funny Bike. C'est aux États-Unis. Il y a Pro Camp aussi, qui est sur le 8e de mille. Mais ma moto, c'est un Funny Bike. La base de moteur, c'est une base Suzuki Hayabusa. Là, elle est un peu convertie turbo-alcool. Il y a la transmission, toutes les shafts, toutes les gears, faut enlever ça, faut enlever ceux d'origine. Puis moi, je fabrique toute la transmission spécialement pour ma moto. Beau avoir plus de power, mais ça donne rien si on n'est pas capable de le faire coller à terre. Parce que ça a au moins 800 HP.
Well, I'm hoping to stay in the #1 position. We've won the first 2 races and set a national record at Cayuga, so I'm out in the points, and if I can just do rounds this weekend, I'll stay in that position. I hope. Hopefully the bike stays together and the rider can keep his head in the game.
Hey, you're watching Biker TV from Drumheller, Alberta.
Special thanks to Universal Cycle. We don't just sell motorcycles, we sell motorcycling. The Border Crossing, where Biker TV goes. Kane's Harley-Davidson, Calgary, Alberta. The CMDRA, motorcycle drag racing action. Biker TV advertising. Call us for a quote.
Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. We have parts, accessories, and lots more for all makes of cruisers, V-twin and metric. Canada's largest selection of helmets and clothing. Shop our website, shop by phone, or visit any one of our huge superstores. Why pay more? Check us out. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader.
Atlantic Canada's largest motorcycle rally, the Wharf Rat Rally, Digby, Nova Scotia.
If you're at all interested in any type of training regarding motorcycles, I don't think there's a better place in the world. We're Canada's #1 motorcycle trainers.
Challenger Motor Freight. Once you get into trucking, it gets in your blood. There's something about it, you're connected to it. It's that movement of freight, that interaction of man and machine.
Join our team and go the distance.
Special thanks to Dukes, Harley-Davidson Sales and Service. St. Thomas Raceway Park, Motorsports Heaven. Hogtown Cycle, friendly sales and service. Biker TV advertising. Call us for a quote. The Doghouse Grill, great food and motorcycle friendly.
We're doing a ride out to Drumheller. We're going to ride the Badlands. So we've got a group of people gathering here, and we're taking donations for the Veterans Food Bank, and we're going to have a real enjoyable day. Thanks for coming out on behalf of Biker TV and Universal Cycle. You can work your way out to Drumheller to the Tyrrell Museum for the first stop. And then we'll ride around the 838 to the 837, use the little ferry crossing, the Dinosaur Trail as they call it. And we'll go out to the Wayne Hotel. And again, we're taking donations for the Veterans Food Bank. Obey the rules of the road, and we'll just have fun and everybody be safe. Scoot over and stay on the 564, and then it's the 840. Here we're with the gang from Universal Cycle. We've stopped at the Royal Calrailway Museum in Drumheller, right in the heart of the Badlands, where literally when you drop down from the highway into the river valley, it's like going back a couple of 100 million years. Real time capsule.
Dinosaurs don't bite when we're around. Two old dogs.
Next on a ride, we're going to do the dinosaur trail out to the ferry, cross over the ferry and come back on the river on the other side. It's about a 70-kilometer run, and it's real nice scenery too. We're here at the very old ferry on the North Dinosaur Trail in Drumheller Park in the Badlands. So how long has this ferry been in operation?
Well, this ferry was commissioned in 1997, but there's been a ferry in this spot since 1913. The settlers were just coming in then, so yeah.
Right. So this is a little bit more modern now to what was back there in 1913.
Yes, it definitely is, yeah. If everybody's having a good time and taking pictures, we slow it down so people can enjoy the trip. If locals are on and they're in a hurry, we can make it in 2 or 3 minutes.
Here we are in Wayne, Alberta, on the Rose Deer Hotel and the Last Chance Saloon. We got it wrapped up for the day. We had a nice ride through the Badlands, and thanks everybody for coming out to Bikertv this weekend.
Real good ride today. Had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of curves, a lot of good terrain out that way.
We all take pride in our rides. Send us a picture of your sweet bike, and it might be on national TV. 2 wheels, good enough for Bikertv. Like us on Facebook and check us out at bikertv.ca. We all take pride in our rides. Send us a picture of your sweet bike, and it might be on national TV. Next week on Bikertv, classic motorcycles with artistry and iron, flat track racing in Welland County, more of the 42nd annual Paris Vintage Motorcycle Show, and the first annual Pam Vickery 9/11 Memorial Ride. Bikertv is brought to you by Parts Canada and Drag Specialties. We support the sport. Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader. RPM Havelock, the show that has it all.
We should have met years ago when we were younger. Live life from a storybook to fill virtue's hunger. Running wild and living free, riding high on that carousel. So my love